In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how you will do the assignment to use arrays and add mouse interaction to this images drawing activity. I'm going to start where I left off in the last demo video, and I'm going to demonstrate that with the completed version of the code, when we click on the solar system button and the sun image is placed here, the instructions tell us to click on the wall to draw the planets. So I'll show that when you click on the wall, images of each of the planets in our solar system are placed on the canvas. The reason for this activity is to teach the concept of arrays, actually. So let's go to Notepad and go to the completed example. And this array here is what I'm talking about. Now let me explain the array really quick. The first line here declares the array. The array is actually an object similar to the image object. So you use the new command to instantiate a new array object. And then you have a variable, in this case called SS objects for solar system objects. And this array object is stored inside this variable. And then just like the bookshelf analogy used in the lesson, we put information about each planet in the solar system on the shelves, the so-called shelves in the array that are numbered from 0, in this case, to 7. So that makes 8 planets because 0 counts as 1. And then the number 8 spot is where we store the value, the word done, which comes into play when you click on the array, or when you click on the wall and you get through all of the planets in the array. The next one is done, and it says those are all the planets in our solar system. So that makes it interactive for the user to know that they're done. So that's an array. And how we're using the array, come down here to the select planets, So here in the draw now function, if planets equals 1, then we access the array here with these two lines. This line here takes the first shelf, the item that's on the first shelf, shelf 0, in the SS objects array and puts it into the SS object variable. And then you see a line here, the SS objects, the shift command is used on the array to remove the value that is on the first shelf of the array and shift everything down 1. So when we click on in the example, when we click on the wall, Mercury was the first item in the list, but now it's been removed so that the next first item in the list is Venus. Then that gets removed, and so on, each planet getting removed from the array until we have no more planets listed in our array. That's what the shift function does to the array. We also use another array in here that you probably noticed up at the top called the colors array, which is of course created the same way. We instantiate it using the new array object command. Now we have an array called colors. This one has 12 shelves on it from 0 to 11, and each one of them has either the name or the code of a different color. And those come into play. The way we access those is down here in the draw now function, where if it's a polygon, we use a color from the array to fill in the polygon each time we draw one. But notice that it's a variable, and we actually randomly assign a number to this variable down here in the goRandom function, where color equals a random value between 0 and 11. So that's how we access the information in the colors array. So that's two examples of how to use an array in JavaScript. Now the next part of this assignment is to add mouse interaction. And we do that down here in this script that's just inside the body tag. Now, as it was explained in the lesson, this function here, the get mouse position or get mouse pause function, sorry, I highlighted the wrong part, this part here, this is a function that you can use. The code here is quite different from what you're used to, and it's more advanced. This is a beginner course, so we're not going to explain why this code works. But the fact is, you can copy and paste and use it. The main thing you need to know about what this function does is that it returns the value, the x, y coordinate values of where the mouse is when it's clicked, and that you can use these values, which you do down here in the add event listener function. We take the mousepos.x, that's what this is referring to here, and the mousepos.y from here, and we put them in variables, image x and image y, which you may remember seeing in another part of the code up here. When we draw the polygon, we refer to the imgx and imgy variables, and also when we draw the planets, we use the imgx and imgy variables in that code as well. So the mouse interaction is done with these two pieces of code, this function here and this function or method here. And the reason that the script is down here inside the body element of the HTML document is because it has to be launched just in the flow of the browser reading through the code. It reads through all the script at the top, then it reads through the body tags, and then it reads through these and actually runs these lines of code just in the flow of reading through the document. So this add event listener is live as soon as this document is loaded. So it's always running and listening for a mouse click. In this case, the mouse down is how it's referred to. One other thing that might be good to explain in this code that we've been looking at is how we use the XY coordinates of the mouse click to draw the planets on the canvas. Let me demonstrate it one more time. Notice how the planet appears in the middle. And we had to use a little bit of math here to make it find the middle, because the coordinates, when you draw an image, the coordinates that are used, these two right here, are the upper left corner of the object. That's where the object is drawn, with these two coordinates as the upper left corner of the object. So what we do is we get the width and height of the objects and we divide them by 2, and then we subtract that amount from the coordinates for the XY, so that we end up with the coordinates still working, but it shows up in the middle of where the mouse clicks, which looks a little bit better than if it showed up on the corner of where the mouse clicked. So this demonstration should help you in doing the assignment of using arrays and mouse interaction.